I'm Noora Ahola, the CEO of Mawson Finland. We are a Toronto stock-listed company. We listed almost a year ago to the TSX Venture-list. We have a Gold-Cobalt project here in Northern Finland, which is called Rajapalot.
Noora, very good to have you on the platform and catch up with your company. Look, we've not met or spoken before, so I just wonder if maybe you can help introduce yourself so that the people listening understand where you've been, what you've done, and how that's going to help you going forward.
Yes, I've been actually with this Rajapalot project for over 10 years now. I started with Mawson Resources, which became Mawson Gold, and eventually we got split it out 2023, and now we are Mawson Finland. And before that, I worked 12 years for the Finnish environmental administration. So I did a lot of nature conservation, but also all kinds of land uses. And I was working internationally and locally here in Lapland. So I was kind of on the other side of the table for quite a long time. Then I have some background from the forestry industry as well before my environmental administration work. So I've done a lot. And I've been also entrepreneur for quite a long time.
Let's talk about that, because that's kind of interesting. Because I think a lot of people watching, listening, reading about this won't know much about Finland. Now, your experience and the fact that you've been made CEO would suggest that it's a very important function there in terms of what you're doing, what your experience is. Can you tell us a little bit about working in Finland and how the companies need to behave?
Yes, I think working for the authority as an authority was very important to get that kind of. The background is good for this job because it's all about the permitting. It's all about talking with the locals and having the social acceptance here in the area. I was doing and giving statements related to windmills, ditching, forestry, even mining. So it's kind of, I've seen how authorities actually apply the legislation in practice. And when it comes to mining, it's not only the Mining Act, it's several other acts and legislations which actually you need to apply when you are doing exploration or mining. So you need to be very well aware of all this regulation behind the whole business, and that's what I can do. And of course, this is my backyard. I live here, very close to the site. I know the people, I know the community. It's very easy for me to talk with not only with the decision makers, but also the people and stakeholder groups who live here.
Okay, well, tell me about it, because obviously you're going through that kind of second phase EIA process at the moment. Well, firstly, when do you expect completion?
I think it's a big work, so it will take probably 2 years from now, approximately. But it's a big step. We got our EIA program done, and that's kind of the milestone in the EIA process. You need to do that. You need to assess your impacts on the environment before the Mining Act. Mining license cannot be applied. And then there are also other permitting processes which actually take a couple of years before they are done. But we want to be very well prepared to apply for our mining license. That's why we are in the process already now, preparing the EIA, also the land use plans. And I can talk about a bit of the land use plans as well if you want.
Well, I wouldn't mind, actually, because I think it's really important to understand the process of, what can be applied for concurrently, what needs to be sequential, and what are the other permitting risks or regulatory hurdles that you need to be considering.
Yes, I think it's kind of many people usually ask when you're going to apply for your mining license, but that's definitely not the only license you need. And that's why I always talk about these processes, that you need to be you need to look 10 years ahead to know when you should do and what you should do, and that you are able to prepare everything in a proper way. So land use planning processes, they are actually initiated by the municipalities where you work and where you're gonna build up a mine, and the regional councils. So there are three different land use plans which needs to be initiated by the locals. If you don't have land use plans for mining license cannot be granted. So this is very crucial thing as well, and we are happy that our municipalities, two municipalities where we work in, and where Rajapalot is located, it's in the border area of two municipalities. They have both initiated this process. So we are preparing not only the EIA report, but also the land use plans. And when these are finalized, we are able to actually apply for the mining license.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of a big thing. Of course, during this thing, we have a PEA, which was updated just for listing purposes on 2023. Originally, it was made 2022. So the technical planning is going ahead at the same time, simultaneously with these permitting processes. So we need a lot of that as well.
Okay, so there's a lot going on there in terms of
Yes.
yeah. I say it's zoning. It's a lot. But I guess it's an established process. This isn't the Wild West. So you've got some big companies obviously operating in country. I think some people will be obviously aware of Anglo American and Agnico Eagle and Rupert Resources, who've been on the platform a few times. But not a lot of junior miners, small companies, but the rules are the same for them, yeah?
It's same for all the companies, of course, and when you are doing just exploration, it's very simple. You need exploration permit, that's it, and you renew it every third year. But after you actually have a resource and you see okay, this could be a mine, and you start developing the project towards the mine, then you really need to start thinking, okay, what should I start doing that I'm able to apply for my mining license in the future when we have a pre-feasibility study and all this, which is happening hopefully to us very soon as well. So that's you need to predict and strategize in the future all these processes, because if you start an EIA in the point when you have already decided, okay, this is going to be a mine, you are too late. You are too late then, because it takes time to prepare all these.
Yeah, I can only imagine. In terms of, you mentioned earlier on stakeholder managing stakeholder relationships, expectations, understanding, etc. Now, in terms of proactively addressing those and staying ahead of it, I guess going through this EIA process, and even when you file it in 2 years' time, you don't want to be starting from scratch there. You want people to come along on that journey with you. So what are you actually doing in the community?
Well, actually, we have been involving our local people since the day one. So even if we haven't even known that we have a resource, we have just started the exploration. We have been talking to the locals like on a regular basis. Nowadays, we have had almost 4 years. We have every other week our office is open for public. They can come and see the rocks and ask the questions. We go to in so many events, the local events. We are invited there, and we talk to people. We try to be very easily available for everyone in person. If people want to talk, we go and we tell and explain, because It's the interaction. It needs to be both ways. It's not just you are telling. You need to listen. You need to give answers, and you need to, if locals, if they have wishes, you need to listen and try to work in the best possible way. Of course, that you are approved. Your activities are approved in the area.
So how would you, like, you've worked the other side of the fence, how would you kind of characterize the relations between mining companies and the Finnish regulators or the regional council of Lapland, etc.? You know, do they, if you do things the right way, do they want to help you, or are they there to, I guess, be more? Maybe they're more cautious. Maybe they're more obstructive. I don't know. Is mining something that Finland and specifically Lapland wants?
Yes, I believe so, and I think our administration is very transparent, and like I said, we have multiple different authorities who we need to deal with, because one takes care of the nature, one environment overall, one mining, and one about economics, and all this. So there are multiple, but I think it's easy to work with them, easy to get help from them. Of course, you need to be able to ask and show that you want to do things right. Then you will get help and advice always when you need. And especially here in Lapland, we have 3 operating mines, like you said, Agnico Eagle Kittilä gold mine, which is the biggest one in Europe. Then we have Outokumpu chrome mine, which is the only one in Europe. And we have also Boliden has a big mine, open pit mine in Sodankylä. And we have multiple projects as well. Rupert Resources Ikkari deposit is very, very nice. And we have Anglo-American permitting now a mine to Sodankylä as well. Sokli here, very close to our site, is south from Rovaniemi. So we have a lot happening here, and most of the exploration is done in Northern Finland. So definitely Northern Finland and Lapland is a jurisdiction for mining and exploration in Finland.
Right. Well, let's. I want to get onto the, if you remind me of the winter drill program's results. So we sort of know in what area you're playing, and then maybe we'll obviously raise some money back in April. What are you going to be doing for the rest of this year? But before we do, let's remind people that the numbers around that 2023 PEA. I mean, broadly, what do they tell us?
Well, our resource is 867,000 ounces gold and 4,311 tons of cobalt. And our price for gold was $1,700 US. And as we know, the gold price is today something very, very much else than 1,700. So the numbers look good for us, and I always say that cobalt has a great political value for us. Economic value is not that huge, but inside the EU, it's very, very valuable. It has a lot of benefits in the future.
Yeah, no, I was looking at your, I think you, on one of your presentations, you do the PEA at a $2,000 level as well, and the IRR jumps from 27% to 37%, and obviously we know gold is 3,300 or so at the moment. So yeah, okay. So basically, this project's quite interesting, even with a kind of small sub $1 million level. The IRR and the payback is interesting, I should say, at today's levels. What? Let's maybe jump onto the. You closed the winter drill program out in, so was it again April, May this year?
April, yeah.
April. How did that go?
It was good. It was good. So Mawson Finland has drilled now 2 winter seasons, both winters 11.4 kilometers. We are very precise, almost the same number of meters each winter, and we were happy with the results. And we know that we are able to add ounces, and these ounces are still not in our resource and PEA naturally. So now we are actually analyzing both winters, put everything together, and see whether we should update our PEA or even go to the pre-feasibility study. But probably a resource update will come soon in the future, hopefully. So our geos are and our technical people are into it now.
Right. Okay. And do you think that's what the market? Look, we're seeing lots of new business models forming in the market where people are looking to take advantage of the current gold price and say, well, let's expedite the process of getting into production. Like you say, let's maybe not update PA, maybe jump to PFS, and kind of show a route to market that way. Or do you think people will value an updated resource and then an updated PEA, and this is just a case of building something out, and in which case you say, well, we're going to follow a Rupert Resources type model, or how are you viewing the allocation and spending of money, and what do you think is going to give you the best return as far as the market is concerned?
Yeah, of course. Growth, any kind of growth is always good, I think, and that's what we are aiming at. Not only with the resource, but only with the company. We want to grow, and that's the key thing. And we need to be able to demonstrate that we are developing this project, de-risking it, at the same time keeping our eyes open, what's happening around us, and if there is anything interesting around us happening, and so that's it. And I think we never stop, and most of the money will go to the ground. that's for sure. But I would say that it's a big thing to move ahead with the permitting already now, that when we have the pre-feasibility study and everything, we are ready to apply for the permit, because also that will take time, and we don't want to start at that point the de-risking part.
Interesting. Okay, very interesting. So with regards to, obviously you just finished the winter program, you've got some money in the bank, and you've got some desktop work to do as well, but given the length of, given us a sort of potentially 2 years on the EIA, the type of drilling that you're going to be doing is going to be a factor of whether you choose to do PFS or PEA, because whether you do infill and or bring inferred into indicated, however you go about that one. Have you? When do you start thinking about that, and when do you start telling the market?
I think after we have reviewed all the results now and decided whether we are ready to do the official resource update, that's when we can decide. But I would say that even if we would start the infill drilling to get to the indicated, we found some nice targets from bottom of till drilling around Rajapalot, from places which could be added to Rajapalot resource. So probably we will drill test also some new targets around the existing resource and deposits. Okay,
because I was looking at that, and obviously I think at higher deeps, you've got that sort of down plunge step out.
Yes.
Do you think this is a sort of second high grade shoot, or do you think it's a continuation of the kind of main lens?
Let's see. I'm not that technical that I could answer that. I think we need to ask from our geos of that, but it's a nice step out. We were really happy about that, and we had another step out from Raja as well to the west, which was very, very good one as well.
Okay, I'd be interested in having a more technical conversation with the team once you've done the analysis, just to understand what you think you've got, and therefore that will inform how you go about the next phase of drilling completely. So just to check back to the company, if I can, in terms of the how a company like yours operates in a market like this. Clearly, you found it easy to raise money earlier in the year. Now you got to show that kind of growth profile. I think your share price went on a bit of a run, has sort of come off a bit as gold has come off a little bit, etc. How are you viewing capital, cash? Do you need to preserve it while you go through this desktop thing, see what the market does, or do you think there's there's interest in gold in Finland, Lapland, and you'll be able to attract more sort of a different type of investor profile?
There is interest towards gold and also for cobalt. And that's also, it's been actually a bit surprising how many investors and possible investors talk about cobalt with us. So it's kind of, I think both are drivers, and of course our results, and the thing that we never stop exploration either. Even if we concentrate on growing Rajapalot, we have very nice other targets there and unexplored areas. So of course we continue with those as well.
It's kind of interesting, as you say. We shouldn't forget the cobalt component, because it's meaningful, and basically trying to understand what the contribution is per ton, dollar contribution per ton it will be interesting. But it's a very sort of opaque market, very difficult to interpret, because there's no sort of set daily pricing on it. Just stories out of the DRC and everything else about supply chains not being good. So do you think the company's got the ability? Because I look to someone like Troilus Gold in Canada, where they've kind of offloaded their kind of, or forward sold their kind of gold, the copper components to fund their gold. Do you think that the European market is, seeking its own kind of critical minerals supply chain, and cobalt could fall under that banner?
Yes, well, cobalt is listed according to the Critical Raw Material Act. It's not only critical, but it's also strategic, which kind of, it's very high priority for EU and this inside the EU value chains and creating those. And when I look at actually the benefits, what you can get when you have cobalt, they are quite nice benefits. You have this preset timing for permitting. Your permitting time cannot exceed 24 months, was it, or 27 months? And it's kind of even nationally, the application will be lifted on top of the pile if you get this strategic project label, which we're going to apply, I would say, next year, when we have enough technical information of the project. So we want to get that, and it will give you access to many funds, which other projects don't have. So and also the national authorities can grant own cohesion funds to such projects. So I think there is a lot of potential, which is discussed with quite many of the investors what we have, and they are quite well aware of these.
I'm just trying to think. So, what am I investing into? They're clearly an exploration company at the moment, but you're getting into the economic phase. Clearly,
yeah.
You've also got a mining engineer on the team.
Yes.
Which again is, I guess, unusual at this stage, this early stage. Why do you feel that's a skill set that you're going to need? Are you going to move into its kind of development phase yourselves?
Hopefully, yes. like said, we're looking at the resource now, and how does it look inside the house, and kind of a desktop study. And our mining engineer, Bauke van Triet, who sits in our board, he was already involved when we did the PEA originally with Mawson Gold. So he's very well aware of how does it look, and what has been the planning previously, and where is it based to. So I think it's very beneficial to have him in the board, and also doing the technical review all the time. How does it look? And of course with the other experts we have.
But he was also on the Sakati. He worked on the PFS there, didn't he?
Yes, Bauke has worked all over the world. He is actually still closely involved with Anglo American, and he works for them as a consultant. He actually does something for UK too, and he's been in Sweden, in South Africa, in so many locations and jurisdictions. So he's a good one in the team, and he lives here in Finland, so he also knows the Finnish regulation and the authorities, and speaks a bit Finnish, which helps always here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. And tell me about the. Obviously, we talked a little bit about operating and working in Finland, but there's it's rare to see juniors in Finland, and people are learning about the ability to work in Finland. But it's therefore it's kind of not a lot of competition. But are you guys looking at sort of expanding your land packages? Are you always on the lookout for things to maybe pick up, which might be of interest?
Yes, that's kind of continuous thing what we do. We are keeping our eyes open, and like I said, growing in every way is one aim of the company, and definitely we are keeping our eyes open and
Fantastic.
looking for any other interesting assets.
Right. Good, 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 good. Well, look, you give a sense of there seems to be well, why don't you summarize what's coming up that investors should be looking out for? And that'd be quite a useful way to finish this conversation.
Well, I would say that within next month or two, we will make big decisions related to whether we go to update our PEA or go for the pre-feasibility study. If we find anything new, like you said, any new interesting assets around us, because we are looking at those all the time. So yeah, and we will inform you immediately how next winter's drilling looks like, and yeah, that's what we are doing. So
Brilliant. Okay, Noora, I appreciate you coming on here. Like I say, there's the offer to bring your technical team on and talk more when you've assessed the data. It's interesting, very interesting indeed. Appreciate your time today. Thank you.
thank you.